Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Sunday. It is May the 28th. It is the day before Memorial Day 2017. Welcome back to the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We've been having a great weekend out in the sun, out at the beach. Hopefully today is going to be another awesome day. We're getting ready to head out, but I want to get this video up for you guys. And a lot of people are talking about storing items and having limited storage for their eBay inventory. Megan did a great video, all about how to basically run a eBay business out of one room, one bedroom, one room, one office, whatever it is. And storage comes into play, a lot for people when, they're trying to buy a lot of clothing potentially, or, items that are just small. They need to, make the most out of their room. So I decided I was going to do a video on 10, really small items that are really profitable on eBay, small, lightweight, easy to store items. And hopefully for those of you with limited space, this will help you out with what to buy when you're out sourcing or garage sailing or thrifting. You can look for these items because they won't take up a lot of room and they're going to be profitable for you. So let's jump over to my computer screen. I'll show you these 10 items and hopefully this will help you out. Okay, so the first item would be watches, and you guys can see like one of the storage cases here. I mean, that case alone right there is what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They've got 33 watches there, and watches can start to be a little bit on the expensive side when you're flipping them, so you probably wouldn't have a ton of inventory on them anyways. But if you did, one of these simple watch boxes or storage boxes can hold, your entire inventory of watches in one or two maybe. And you could put that away in a case or a shelf or in a cupboard. I mean, you can store tons of watch inventory with almost no room at all. They're pretty profitable as well, as long as you know what you're doing, brands, you know how to spot the fakes. I like to flip them locally, but if you can sell them, I've sold quite a few on eBay. It does require, like I said, more investment on the money, but you can make a good profit. Just be careful when you're buying them. Great item to not take up any storage, though. All right, let's go to number 2. Which is all of our favorites. It's video games, of course, and you can set up one bookshelf. You can buy one of these bookshelves at Walmart. It would be about half the size of the one you see here in the photo. I had 3 of them at one point, and I think they were like 25 bucks or 30 bucks, and you can store literally 400 or 500 video games if you do it right. You can store some systems. You could store accessories. So any of the video game category would go on these bookshelves. Very cheap storage, very quick and easy to set up, and literally just stick it in one corner against the wall in your office or in your bedroom, whatever your storage situation is or your working situation, and that's almost no room at all. Plus, when you're buying these, you're going to probably be buying more than one at a time anyways. Hopefully, you'll be buying somebody's entire collection, 20 or 30 at a time, and so you will need storage like this. But one bookshelf for most people will be enough. Even if you had to get a second one, no big deal. Won't take up a ton of room. Number 3, iPods. Obviously, they're super small, super lightweight. You could put them in bins. You could put them on a shelf like you just saw. Typically, bins is the best way. You can buy a few bins down at Walmart for $3 or $4. You can buy yourself, 2 or 3 bins to store all the iPods. Put all your nanos in one, all your classics in one, however you want to do it, and no room at all. Probably a little more money out of your pocket for these as well, but better profit margins. And iPods are safe to sell on eBay or Amazon. They do great on both. All right, the next one is the handheld electronic games. They're small as well, a little bigger than an iPod, but not much. These are cheap things you get at garage sales or the Goodwill outlets or the bin. Sometimes I find them at Salvation Army, but they take up almost no room at all. Just grab a bin, throw them all in there. Probably won't have more than 10 or 20. If you niche on them and you end up getting 50 or 60, you still only need a few bins. You can store them all. So not a lot of room at all that they're going to take up. Next is wallets, which very lightweight, first class. They sell good if you can get some good brands, some Guess, Calvin Klein, Burberry, Polo wallets, any of those kind of wallets if you can find them. You see them at a lot of yard and garage sales. If they're in good condition, they are not all worn down or faded. And you can, again, just one little quick bin from Walmart, and you can have these stored in no time. No room at all. Purses is one for the women. Now, these might become a little bit of, probably the highest storage room taker in the whole group. The wallet's not so bad. The clutches aren't so bad. But if you're, selling full-size purses, big straps, the tote bags, the day bags. But there are a lot of storage. I've seen some people on YouTube with some video on purse storage where they have some creative ways to like hang them from, those shoe those shoe carousels that you put on the back of your door or in your closet, they were actually using them for purses. So it's kind of an interesting idea. But they can still be stored. Even at the top of a closet, you can fit 20 or 30 purses if you had them in inventory. So something that you should see a lot of that doesn't take up too much room. Ink cartridge and toners. I know a lot of people sell this. I get a lot of messages about these. They're small. The toners can be a little bigger, but most of the ink cartridges are really small. And these won't take up but, you know, a bin or two depending on how many you get. Obviously, if you niche any of these products and you end up buying hundreds of them, well, it's going to start taking up, you know, more room than anything else. But if you get to that point, you could probably afford to either get a storage unit or a small office, or, you know, you're using your garage where you have a ton of room. So, obviously take what I'm saying times 100 towards a bigger operation. You're going to be not working out of a one-room situation anymore. So this is a very good one. A lot of people sell these. They are really cheap, brand new. So if you can find them sealed in the packaging, just keep an eye on the pricing on these. And make sure they're not expired. GoPros and accessories. This is one of GoPro's advanced cases here. This one holds 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And you can tell the one on the right was made for GoPro because it has the right indentations. The one on the left may have been a homemade one. I think it is an actual legit GoPro case. You'd have to look that up. It looks like it has the notches and the cutouts for the cameras, but you can see that that one right there holds 12 plus accessories. If you look down under it, it's got all the stands. So you can see if you have a GoPro or a couple GoPros in inventory and you need a place to store them. These cases, I imagine these custom cases are probably expensive. I would recommend probably buying one and making one on your own, just some foam in the top of it. You could probably do it yourself for 20 or 30 bucks. If you bought one from GoPro, it's probably expensive, probably $50 to $100 at least. But they are very easy to store. You don't even have to have the case. You could just put them in, bins or on shelves or whatever. But this is just a quick, easy way to store them if you ended up buying more than a few. And you could, if you only plan on buying 2 or 3 at a time, you could have a smaller case even to hold them, like even a watch case or something. All right, number 9 is action figures, which everyone sees. When I get them from yard sales, they're typically in totes or bins where like the kids have just piled them in there. But if you're going to sell them and have them in inventory, obviously you need some inventory location. You can see the bin in the picture here has like 4 different sections. So you could label those sections as like, bin 1, section A, section B, section C, and then put the action figures into their sections and label it on your listing. That way, when you sell one, you know it's in bin 1, grab action figure bin 1, go to section A, and you'd be able to find it pretty quick because instead of looking through hundreds of action figures, your section A has maybe like 20 in it. So you'd be able to quickly find that specific one. So this is a great storage bin right there. I need to look up where to get those because I like that. And those bins probably $3 or $4, or you could just buy one from Walmart like that and section it off yourself with a piece of cardboard or anything. So great idea for storage right there. And number 10, of course, stuffed animals. Everybody uses those hanging nets. The hanging nets make it kind of easy to see them. You could label, if you had 2 or 3 nets, you could label them net A, net B, net C. I know that sounds a little silly, but there are a lot of people that sell a lot of stuffed animals, actually. Of course, that one lady that I couldn't get her eBay name or get her to share it, but I have seen her sales in her account, and she sells thousands of dollars in stuffed animals. So if you did do that and you were sourcing them, she targets, vintage, like Boyd's Bears or Disney stuff, or like the Curious George ones that she can get $15, $20, $25 because she's buying them for a quarter and 50 cents. So great profit margins. She's just, stuffed animals are slow sellers, but if you can get vintage or highly sought after ones, you can do pretty well on them. I sold that Simba stuffed animal from The Lion King, and it was the special edition bendable one I got from the Goodwill. I paid Goodwill retail. I paid $3.98 for it. It ended up selling for $199.99. So you got to keep an eye out for that sort of stuff, the rare ones. He was pretty big, so if you're buying the big ones, I don't buy the big ones anymore, but you can see this picture is just for like normal size, small, maybe 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch stuffed animals. If you start buying the big ones, then you can get into trouble with storage, but typically you won't have to worry about that. All right, so that's the 10 items that will be the best for you on storage. If you're working out of a small space, small office, or 1 bedroom, or whatever your situation is, you need some good items that don't take up a lot of room. Those would be it. Make a list. I'll put them down in the description box below. You can copy and paste it, screenshot it, take a photo of it, whatever you want to do. And hopefully that will help you with your storage problems. Ton of people messaging and commenting on the videos, and on the one that Megan did about the storage and the 1 bedroom. People asked me if I had seen it. Yes, I watched it. It's a great video with that situation. So make sure you check it out, and make sure you check this video out and keep the list handy. So when you're out sourcing and shopping, you know what to grab and what's not going to take up a lot of room, and you'll know how to store it properly. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time.